Hey guys, welcome to Gear Guys. I'm Parker McCabe. This is a new show offering reviews and commentaries on some of the gear that you want to know about. Stuff you're looking to buy, whether it be camera rigs like you see here, cameras, audio gear, lighting gear, whatever. We're Gear Guys, and we know you are too. This is the Opteka CXS-300 shoulder stabilization rig. Now, I know you're saying that's a lot of words, but I'm going to break them down for you. You say, why would you need a shoulder rig? Well, a lot of you are shooting on these DSLRs, and you're holding them handheld, and you're running and gunning like this, and that's great. That works well. The problem is, it's very easy to get a lot of shake here, and some shutter and back and forth on these different axes. And it's just not very easy, and you'll produce some unwanted results into your film. So what this guy allows you to do is it allows you to mount your camera right here on this base plate, and we've got it at eye level now, so you're able to do some nice sweeping smooth movements, move around with very little shake, and you have a lot of control over the camera. You're also able to add a lot of accessories, which we'll show you a little bit later. So the Opteka CXS-300 shoulder mount. This is something we've used in several productions, and we're also going to show you some test footage from some stuff we've shot with it a little later on. But I want to kind of break down its main components. So first of all, you've got the rails here, the main rails that go through the rig, and this is your main support center, and this is what's going to hold your camera and any other kind of add-ons you want to put onto the rig. In the front here, you've got the handlebars, and these are nice and comfortable, a little rubber grip, and these really allow you to grasp comfortably the front of the rig. You've got your base plate here to hold the camera, and these, of course, can be moved forward and backward. You've got a shoulder pad right here, which also doubles as a tripod mount plate so that you can sit this on a tripod when you're not using it, and it makes it very convenient. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And then at the back here, you've got your counterweight. Now let me start with a counterweight. This is what sets this rig apart from some rigs in this price point, because when you're filming, and especially using a rig like this, you're adding a lot of weight up front. So what's going to happen is you're going to start to feel that the shoulder rig part isn't very advantageous because a lot of the weight's in front. Well, what this counterweight allows you to do is it allows us to use your shoulder as a fulcrum and even out that weight back and forth between the front and back of the rig. Now, one thing you'll notice, and we'll put the camera on here next, is that it's a little bit difficult to see what you're shooting if you've got something at eye level like this. But we'll show you that in a little bit. So again, the Opteka CXS-300, let's go ahead and show you a little bit of footage now that we've shot using it in a couple of our short films. And when we get back, we will have the camera on the rig, and we'll also have some accessories here that we can show you really how you can take this rig to the next level. Stick around. Alright, here you can see Jay, and on the shot on the right, we're using just handheld, no shoulder rig, and the one on the left, we're using the shoulder rig. Now you can see clearly the difference. One on the left is much smoother, without any of the micro shakiness that is in the one on the right. These next shots we shot just some close-ups with this move up to this lion statue, and this first one here is definitely handheld. And now the second one is with the rig, the shoulder rig, and look how smooth it is. Much smoother. A little shaky, but still smooth. Here's another move with a handheld. And the same move with the rig, a little quicker and a little smoother. Here's a little segment from a short film that we did where you can see these two actresses are being followed, and it's very easy to focus on them because there's not a lot of shake going in the camera. When they stop and they have some dialogue here, we do have a little bit of shake, but that's on purpose. But for the most part, you're able to focus on the actresses and you're not distracted by the shake of the camera at such a close focal length to these actresses. Alright, well, welcome back. So as you can see, I've got a bunch of little metal things over here that I'll get to in a second, but let me direct your attention first over here. So as you can see, we've got the camera mounted on the rig. So I'll bring it onto my shoulder, and this will give you an idea of what it looks like. So first thing you notice is the camera's nice at eye level. It's in front of my face, so I can see the monitor here. And now I can start to shoot. And you know, for a while, this is how we ran. Just a camera like this, bare bones. Now you can see I've changed out the base plate because I told you about how great that one is. But you know, one of the little issues about this is that you want to be able to look in front of you, not only to see where you're going, but also it's just more comfortable. With this guy, it's a little bit harder. You got to kind of look off to the side here to see the monitor, but not a huge deal. So let me show you real quickly the problem with this guy. As you can see here, we've got two little screws, one to screw into the bottom of the camera, and this one to act almost as like a wedge to screw in to kind of put tension to keep the camera from going anywhere off of this screw. But what you end up doing is you end up raking your camera forward onto it, and it doesn't work very well. So we've had to just toss this one away and get a better base plate here, and we find it works a lot easier. So it's got inside. So what we're gonna do now is while I sweat my ass off because we're shooting in a garage, I'm gonna go ahead and assemble kind of our current rig and show you kind of how it looks all together. Welcome back, guys. Now you can see we've got our fully assembled rig with all of those accessories that were sitting here earlier. And let me go down the line and show you exactly what we have. Here we have a shoulder pad. Now this is a little bit different than the shoulder pad that it comes with, which is right here. So, you know, we talked about how it's comfortable, but it's just not the greatest. So we wanted to upgrade to something a little bit more smaller profile and a little bit more comfortable. We talked about how this base plate here was kind of, you know, not the best, the one that came with it. So the follow focus, let's talk about that. These cameras do not come with an autofocus feature while the video mode is running. So if your subject's moving or if you're moving as the cameraman, you're going to need a way to stay in focus. And you can try and grab the lens, but that's just gonna make things move around, and that's why they developed follow focuses. And these allow you to follow your subject and keep them in focus. We have this matte box here. Now this is a very cheap matte box. It was like $100. It's basically just a plastic piece in front with these flags on the side and the top. These are called flags. And you know, a better matte box might have a swing arm so that this whole section can swing out and you can change lenses, change filters. It will have some trays for filters that you can put filters into that will rotate. And it's just a much better matte box. And we'll probably be reviewing that as time goes on and we get access to that type of equipment. For now, let me show you what this rig looks like. And in a very comfortable way, you're able to move. We like the fact that this is a little bit shorter, a little bit lower, so when you're shooting someone that's your height, you gotta aim up just a little bit, which kind of makes a little bit of a dramatic angle, which is kind of nice. And also, conversely, if you're shooting down, it allows you to shoot low angle a little bit easier. So you're not having to lean over as much or move the camera down as much. So this Bulldog rig, as we like to call it, just really feels nice and comfortable. It keeps your hands a little bit lower, so they're kind of at like a right angle to your body instead of up here. So we enjoy that. And this extra base plate we had allows you to mount it to a tripod just like that. Now it's a little bit off because you remove the counterweight, but it gives you a chance to really mount it really easily to a tripod. Another thing we have is this C cage. Now as you can see with this C cage, it allows you to have the camera a bit lower, and we call this a Bulldog rig. It's kind of small, it's kind of, you know, tight into the chest, and we find that it allows the counterweight to sit farther enough back, and this gives us a real nice comfortable shooting platform to go with. And this C cage is really pivotal in allowing us to drop down like this. It also has about 5 or 6 quarter 20 adapters on it, so you can add different accessories, whether it be a Rode mic or an LED light or something of that nature. So we enjoy the Bulldog rig, and it gives us a lot of options for shooting. So that was a little bit about the CXS-300 from Opteka, this shoulder rig. Now we want to go over some pros and cons. Obviously we went over a couple of the cons, one being these knobs. They're very, very hard to tighten, and we've often had to use a pair of pliers to really get them where they need to go to hold onto these rails. So that's not the greatest thing. Another thing is this base plate for the camera. This thing is basically a piece of crap. It just doesn't hold a camera very well, and you know, if you're doing any kind of serious videography, you're gonna want to upgrade this anyway to like a QR plate or something like that. I think my only other complaint probably is just its overall length. I mean, you can see when I hold it up that it's kind of tight, and if you were to add some other things onto here, you might want a little bit more room, which is kind of why we added our extra set of rails that we showed you earlier. You know, I would say that it's not necessary, but you know, if you're going to upgrade and go further, you might want to look into getting something that's going to extend your reach a little bit, and will also put this counterweight a little bit farther behind you, allowing for a little bit more even weight distribution. You know, it's also got the ability to be very modular. This can turn into a bunch of different rigs. As you saw before, our little Bulldog rig that brought it like low and tight to our chest, all the way to basically the way it's originally set up with the camera at eye level. You can really do anything. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this review. I'm Parker McCabe for Gear Guys. If you like it, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and come back because we're gonna have some exciting reviews for you. If you have any ideas, leave us a message in the comments and we'll do our best to accommodate. All right guys, have a good one, we'll see you soon.